so much for watching. So this is my first YouTube tutorial. We're going to be creating this really glam green smoky eye with an orange transition. If you want to see how we get this look, then keep watching and like and subscribe. Any comments, if there's anything that you want to know that hasn't been answered in the video, you can leave it in the comments below. And I apologise for my voice, I am currently getting over a chest infection. So let's get started with the tutorial. So to start, I primed my eyes with MAC's Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I put that all over the lids just to create a nice even base for the colour to apply. I used my fingers just to rub this in just because it's the easiest way to do it, and it saves me getting a brush dirty and having to wash one. I really like this colour. It's got quite a yellow undertone, and I went over it with H&M's Fine China, again just to set that colour in. I then went in with Makeup Geek's Vanilla Bean. This is just a really nice kind of neutral transition shade, very similar to my skin tone. And I just basically buffed that in through the socket and all over the eyelid. Again, just to give a nice smooth even base for my gradual and grady colours to apply on top. Next I went in with another Makeup Geek shadow. This is Beaches and Cream from Makeup Geek. It's just slightly darker and more peachier in tone, and again this is just to create a gradual fade, just so that I can get a nice transition from light to dark when I'm doing the eye makeup. It's going to make the darker shadows much easier to blend as well. And I just did that in the crease and blended and buffed until I was happy. The next shade again is from Makeup Geek, and this is Frappe, again just slightly darker, and you can tell we're getting further and further away from the normal skin tone colour. And I just went in again through the crease of the eye and just into the very outer third, and again this is just to create a nice base, and it is also just to help the darker colours when it comes to blending later on as well. I'm also obsessed with the Makeup Geek eyeshadows. If nobody has ever tried them, I really recommend it. They're really inexpensive and really easy to get a hold of now in the UK. So if it's something that you've ever you were ever kind of not sure about, it's something that I would definitely look into. They're so worth it. Next I went in with the Raw Coat, which is a very bright orange red, kind of brick red shade, very similar to MAC's Red Brick. If you want something, but I do actually think the Makeup Geek shadows are much better in quality. And with this I just went in with the crease and the inner third, and I decided to actually go in with another colour just to break it up slightly. I went in with Chickadee, which is kind of like a mustard yellow, and blended this with the orange, just so that the red wasn't quite as harsh. And again just blended this through it and just kept buffing. With these kind of colours, the best thing to do is just to layer them and buff and buff and buff with your blending brush. That's going to give you the most seamless kind of transition. And next went in with Dirty Martini, which is a really beautiful kind of orange forest green, and this was the start of the kind of olive green smoky eye. You can see that I'm actually doing something kind of similar to like a halo eye. I concentrated that colour on the inner and outer third and the crease of the eye, just trying to keep it just in the crease and no higher. And I'm actually using like a natural fibre brush for this to get the best colour onto the eyelid. You can see from these shadows I also had a lot of fallout. You get this with shadows that are really heavily pigmented. You are going to get a bit of fallout, but that's the reason why we did the skin after the eyes, so that with these shadows we can just wipe them away with a big fluffy brush and not have to worry too much about ruining your concealer or ruining the foundation underneath. Again, here all I'm doing is just building up the intensity until I'm happy with the shade. I did decide to go back in with more just to build the colour up on the right eye. Just again until I was happy with the intensity of the green. and then just wiped away all the kind of under eye fallout, just to kind of clean the area up a bit before going in with a darker shade of green. And I'm actually using a Real Techniques powder blush. I think it's a blush brush, just to wipe away any fallout. So next we went in with Enchanted Forest, another makeup cake colour, and this was again just to intensify that green. So we went in with Dirty Martini, and Enchanted Forest is just to deepen up the crease and the socket even further, just to create a more smoky and intense look. This isn't something, I mean for me this isn't something that I would tend to wear out on an everyday basis. This is quite a dark, intense, smoky eye for me. So I would normally wear this if I'm going out with my boyfriend, or going out with friends to drinks or dinner, or going out clubbing. And again, all I've done is concentrate this colour in the inner and outer third of the eye, and I've also taken that underneath the eye to just buff out and create like a smoky haze effect. And again, I'm just going back in with a big fluffy brush. I went in next with Jester, which is a foiled eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. You can see how pigmented and intense the colour is. This is just with one swipe of the finger, and it's a beautiful kind of metallic olive green shade. I wanted to concentrate this mostly on the centre of the lid, again just to create that halo eye effect. I went in with a kind of natural fibre brush, and you can see there is a high colour payoff, but it isn't as intense as I initially wanted it to be. So I actually ended up spraying it with Fix Plus and going back in after applying the first layer of colour. Which you can see here after applying the Fix Plus, there is a lot, as you can see, fallout. If you look under the eye, you can see that it is really pigmented, which doesn't really bother me with eyeshadows that are this high in colour payoff. Them having kind of fallout and drop down from the shadows doesn't bother me so much. I then went back in with my finger again just to intensify the colour. And also decided just to buff the edges out slightly, just so you don't have a kind of blob of green in the centre of the eyelid. Next, I decided to apply a wing. I didn't want it really kind of high, and I didn't want it thick. I just wanted it to kind of show off the eyes and lift the eyes up slightly. So I used the Maybelline Master Drama to do that, and just to create a very soft cat eye flick, just starting from the middle to the inner third of the eye, and then creating a flick outwards. I don't know if anybody else has had this issue, but getting your winged liner even is so difficult. I've been doing it since I was 17, and it's still something that I don't necessarily struggle with. It's definitely challenging. It definitely takes time to get the wing or the wings looking relatively related. So with this, I would just recommend taking your time, not rushing it, and you can always fix any mistakes that you do make. I have really stubborn eyelashes, and so they're quite long but they're very straight, and so I always end up having to curl my eyelashes. I think these are number 7, they're nothing fancy, just to get that curl that I need. And I apologise because they're pretty grubby. I need to invest in a new pair. And then went in with my favourite mascara just now, mostly because it keeps my eyelashes, it makes them look really long, accentuates them, it fans them out, but it does actually make them visible. It helps keep the curl slightly. And this is Perversion by Urban Decay, and it's probably one of the best mascaras I've used. The only thing that really keeps the curl in my lashes is a waterproof mascara, but I hate using them, mostly because they're an absolute pain to remove, but also because they're really bad for your lashes, so I tend to stay away from them unless I really need them, unless I am actually going out, or I've got a really long day ahead. So I'm just applying a couple of coats of that. I then decided I wanted to go back in to the middle of the lid just to add a little bit more drama. So I went back in with the final Makeup Geek eyeshadow. This is Shimma Shimma. It's quite a kind of champagne gold, and just applied that to the very centre of the green that we'd already applied, and just touched up any areas that needed touched up from the additional eyeshadow. With the eyes mostly completed, I decided just to move on to the rest of the face. And for that I went for probably one of my all-time favourite foundations, and it's the Magic Foundation by Charlotte Tilbury. I wasn't initially sure about this before I purchased it, but it's probably one of the best foundations I've ever used. It leaves like a really lovely glowy finish on the skin, and it's also almost a perfect match for my skin tone as well. I'm quite fair, so I find it quite difficult to find foundations that match or can help even out my skin tone, and I have a lot of redness in my skin as well, and this foundation just really helps even everything out, and it looks really luminous and dewy as well, which is what I love in a foundation. The best thing I found to apply it, I don't mind using brushes, but I really love using the Beauty Blender. I just think it gives the most perfect, flawless finish. And I think it's a staple in everybody's makeup kit. This is an actual original Beauty Blender, but you can get them relatively inexpensive. Places like Real Techniques do them as well, which I do own as well. The Milk and Complexion Sponge, and they're just as good, and they are much less expensive than a Beauty Blender. So it's something that I would recommend that everyone gets their hands on. I also wanted to just lighten the under eyes slightly. You could still see bags and things showing through, so I went in with the Bobbi Brown corrector. I believe this is in Porcelain Bisque. I'm not entirely sure. I will leave any products and colours listed below in the down bar for you. And then went in with my Naked Skin concealer, which is my favourite concealer at the moment. I don't know what it is. A lot of people say they find it quite drying, but I think as long as I am using it with the Beauty Blender, it looks really nice and it looks really flawless. The colour I went for, which is the light shade they do, is Fair Neutral again, just because I'm so pale and so red as well. I want to make sure that I cover any of that redness up. So I wanted to create loads of lightness and highlight under my eyes, which is why I put them kind of majority of it there. I then wanted to even out any redness still showing on the nose, on the chin, any blemishes, and then the forehead as well. I thought it would maybe be easier to do a voiceover just because of my voice. In actual fact, it's more difficult. And then again, just blending it out. Try to blend it out as carefully as possible, you know, obviously under the eyes because we've done that area already, but with the concealer and the fact that you've already blended is quite handy because you can just go back in and any shadow that's still left on the brush, shadow that's still under the eyes, you can go back in and blend it out. I then went in with kind of just a flat definer brush, and applied some more of that Jester, the foiled Makeup Geek shadow, just to the very centre of the under eye area, just to kind of mirror what was happening on the top, on the bottom as well, and then just used a kind of pointed crease brush just to blend that out under the eyes as well. Then went in with, this is just a H&M black kind of gel pencil liner, and I used this to line both the waterline and the tight line. It's not the best eyeliner I've ever used, but it was the nearest one to hand. Actually, you know, for the price, I think it cost me like €2 or something. It's actually not that bad. And I went back in with my brush just to blend that out and smudge out under the lower lash line as well. I then went in with another coat of mascara just to kind of blend everything together, and I applied that again to the top lash just to give them a second coating, and again on the bottom lashes just to make my eyes look bigger. You can at this stage, if you want, apply false lashes. The only reason I didn't is I've got a boot and a cast on and I'm in crutches and it's so finicky. I didn't have any lashes kind of near me at this point, so decided not to. And then went in with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit palette and the lightest powder in the palette just to kind of set that concealer in place. And this powder is amazing as well because it doesn't look matte or cakey, it just leaves a really soft focus finish. And then went in any eye area that wasn't quite blended, just went in and blended a little bit to create like a nice natural defined contour. I went in with the lightest shade from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Palette in Fair, and just created a very soft contour, and then I will blend it out with the Beauty Blender. So I kind of went in a 3 shape. I did it up the temples, on the cheekbones, and then just under the jaw as well. And I did contour the nose. I don't do this every single day, but for this kind of look, if I was going out at night, this is what I would do, just to get the illusion of a slightly thinner nose. I then went in with a damp Beauty Blender again and just blended this out. Again, just to create a really soft focus blend. And I actually find that cream products, especially if you're new to makeup and you're not sure what you're doing, the cream contour I think is much easier to work with. If you do struggle with it, or you do find that powder contours are a little bit more difficult, you can go in and just keep blending and blend it out until you get the look that you're after. So this is definitely a plus, and I do think this is one of the easiest kits to use. And then I just use the pointed end just to blend out the nose contour. I did go in with a brush after just to buff it out a little more as well. And then I went in just to set the contour. I used the light shade from the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette. This is probably my favourite. Not only is it vegan and cruelty free, but it's just so easy to blend. The colours are really good for fair skin as well. They're not too orange, but they're not too grey. They're a really nice neutral and they look dead natural, the contour itself. You could go in with like something like the Kevin Kwan sculpting powder, but it is quite pricey if you wanted to do that as well. But this is a kind of really good contour palette, and it's got a really nice big mirror in it as well, as you can see, blocking half the viewfinder. I noticed when I was actually doing it, I did apply slightly too much, but you can see how well and how naturally it actually blends out. So if you do end up applying a little bit too much, just take a big fluffy brush like I've done and blend it all over the skin until you reach the effect that you're happy with. And here I'm just going in with a small shading eye brush, and that's just to blend out the nose contour and get the kind of look that I was going for. The key to makeup really is blending. Next, for my bronzer, I went in again with the Ambient Lighting Edit palette from Hourglass and took the bronzer in the palette. This is a really nice spoon. It does have a lot of shimmer in it, but I don't think it translates on the skin. It just gives you like a really soft glow, and it has like lighting powders in with the bronzer as well, which is what gives you that lit within kind of look, which is why I love it. The only issue I would say is that this palette, because the compacts are so small, you have to be careful not to pick up like a blusher or something in the colour as well. Once I applied the bronzer just in a 3 shade to the temples, the forehead, the cheek area and under the jaw, I just blended it with a big fluffy brush as well, and then went in with this really beautiful H&M blush called Powder, I think it's called Powder Bronze, I'm not sure, again I will leave it in the description box below, just on the apples of the cheeks, and work my way upwards towards the temples just to create like a natural contour, and then again just went in with a big fluffy brush just to blend everything. I then went in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Gleam Glow Kit and used the bottom 2 shades just to create like a really nice highlight. I basically put this everywhere. I am obsessed with highlighter, so I went in the tops of the cheekbones, above the brows. I also went the tip of the nose, the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow, the bottom lip as well, just to create an illusion of a bigger lip, the chin. You can go under the brow bone and in the inner corner as well. I didn't do this just because there was a lot already going on, but you can as well. And then went in with a brush, a slightly bigger brush, and it was just to blend everything out again, just to make sure there were no harsh lines and that everything looks seamless and smooth. And this is the Real Techniques contour brush that I went in with, and it was just to, again, make sure everything's nice and blended. I was toying between lip looks and a matte lip, but I think because there was so much going on and my skin looked really dewy, I wanted to just go in with a really nice kind of soft nude lip. This is probably my go-to colour at the moment. This is from the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips collection. The rose gold packaging in itself was enough to sway me. I am a sucker for rose gold packaging, and all of Charlotte Tilbury's packaging is like that. So I first went in with the Kylie Cosmetics Lip Kit lip liner in Malibu. You can see there's a major issue here with our lip kits. The actual pencils come out, but I mean, it's the only one I own to deal with it, and it's still usable. So I just lined my entire lip and then filled it in. I do overline my lip slightly because my top lip is quite thin, or at least I think it's quite thin. I get quite, not self-conscious, but I would like bigger lips, who wouldn't? And so I do overline them slightly just at the top where the cupid's bow is, and then underneath, and then completely fill them in with that pencil as well. And I apologise because I've not been very well and I've got a bit of a bad chest infection. My lips are pretty dry and pretty grim, which is the main reason why I wanted to go in with a nice moisturising, kind of smooth creamy lipstick, and that's the reason why I chose this. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips Kim Kardashian West colour, and it's a really nice, like, kind of peachy, rosy nude. It's honestly one of the nicest colours. Like, it's just so pigmented and it's so pretty on. I just couldn't go over how nice it was. Just to finish, I did go in with setting spray, just kind of set and lock everything down. I went in with the Urban Decay Chill setting spray, and this was just to make sure that my makeup is kept in place all day and that it doesn't run or smudge. But you know, you can kind of go for your own setting spray and do what you want to do. And I just took my hair down just to see what it looks like, and that is the finished look. So hopefully you guys like it. If you've got any questions, or there's anything that you're not sure of, or there's anything that you want to know, drop in the comment box below. If you do recreate the look, please give me a comment and tag me or link me. All my social media links for Instagram and things will be linked below as well, along with products mentioned and the product used in the tutorial for you guys. And if there's any kind of suggestions you have for tutorials in the future or any videos in the future, again, just leave them in a comment in the description box or in the comments below for me. And I'll see you at the next tutorial. Thanks for watching guys, and like and subscribe. Thank you, bye!